For people who are just waking up, let me tell you what we know. This is a shooting that happened at Pulse. It's a gay nightclub in downtown Orlando.
The shooting began after 2 o'clock this morning.
49 victims killed.
The worst mass shooting in American history.
There are more than a list of names. There are people who loved and were loved. There are people who had families and friends and dreams.
Our hearts are broken too. These families could be our families. In fact, they are our family. They're part of the American family.
From something tragic comes light, comes all these positive things, and that's what people need to focus on.
17% of LGBT citizens have been victims of hate crimes in the past 3 years.
%85 of those are subject to harassment and intimidation.
%30 are afraid of reporting to the police because they think they won't pursue the matter.
%30 of offenders are previously acquainted with their victims.
One in 8 gay people were the victim of gay hate last year, and 3 in 4 didn't tell the police. Day of Remembrance is a day set aside every year to memorialize those who were killed due to anti-transgender hatred. The event is held in November to honor Rita Hester. Rita Hester was an African-American transgender woman who was found dead in her apartment 2 days before her 35th birthday on November 28, 1998. She was stabbed a shocking 20 times in the chest. This case is still unsolved. Even though it was reopened in 2006, there were no signs of forced entry, nothing was stolen from her apartment, and there were no suspects. So the case is still unsolved. At the very first vigil for Rita Hester, her mother stated, "I would have gladly died for you, Rita. I would have taken the stabs for you and told you to run. I loved you." And then she proceeded to walk from Models Cafe in Austin and ended outside of Hester's apartment, where she kneeled and recited the Lord's Prayer. The Transgender Day of Remembrance is just a repeat of Rita Hester's very first vigil. However, they still honor those that died in the past year. The Transgender Day of Remembrance serves multiple purposes. It raises public awareness of hate crimes against transgender people, an action the media still doesn't take. It's a way to publicly mourn and honor the lives of those that may otherwise be forgotten. It's a way to express love and respect in the face of national indifference and hatred.
And the blood will dry.
T.E.D.M. Jeremias, a 37-year-old trans woman from Brazil.
Courtney Davia Dawson Yosham of Los Angeles, California, March 23rd. She was 32 years old. 32 years old. Everybody loved her. She was very popular.
BA, also known as Bianca Abravanel, a 25-year-old transgender woman from Brazil.
Deniquia Dodds, she was 22 years old.
In the last few years, we have developed strong relationships with the police departments in the greater Richmond area, Richmond, Henrico, Chesterfield, and we have LGBT liaisons with each one of those police departments. And we worked on this. We were not aware of any particular problem at the moment, but we knew that there were people within our communities who, if they needed police, probably would not dial 911. And the best example that we could give is if there's domestic violence between a same-sex couple, because the couple, the one who's being harmed, may not want to call the police because he or she may not know how the police would react once they got to the residence and found out it was a same-sex couple. We have been reassured by the chiefs of police of these areas, because of training, that they would not tolerate anyone in our community being treated any differently than they should be. So any mistreatment needs to be reported to them. But we know that it happens, and the domestic violence is the best example that I can give. There was a situation in the last few months of a male couple who lived in the suburbs out in the county, and in one of the counties, and they had kept receiving hate mail from their neighbors. The neighbors did not like the fact that two gay guys in a relationship were living in their neighborhood. And they got hate mail, and they had words spray painted on the garage door. And I didn't know anything about this until they had sold their home and moved to another neighborhood that was safe. We had a murder recently here in Richmond of a transgender woman. She was shot and left to die on the side of Hull Street Road, and she did die. And we don't know what the circumstances surrounding that was, but we do know that there is such a high rate of violence against transgender women, especially transgender women of color.
Have you ever been affected by LGBTQ violence?
Well, what happened was me and my friend were jumped, and my friend was straight, but being that they were hanging out with me, they were also jumped. And in the process, I was urinated on by like 4 people. They beat me up. I was getting hit with rocks and stuff like that, and spit on and all that stuff. And I was sodomized with a beer bottle, and hit with a broomstick. I remember like it was yesterday, honestly, and it's easy to talk about now because it's been like, I've been out of school for like 16 years.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. And when I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's coming home to you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna and I dream about the time when I'm with you. But I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles, to fall down at your door when I'm working. Yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass along every cent of it to you. And when I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And if I grow old, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's growing old with you. But I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles, to fall down at your door